Hi, this is Shalimar Steinberg, and today we're going to be talking about completing the XREF block assignment for drafting 160. As you can see here on the screen, I've got Moodle open to the assignment. The first steps are to download and save the motel floor plan and typical room.dwg files, which are right here. So I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to go to Show in Folder, and then right click it and move to, send to, and then tell it where I want it to be saved. In this case, I'm just going to do my desktop, but you would be saving it wherever you save documents for your assignments. So there we go, and then I'm going to do the same thing again for this one. Okay, now I've got those two files available. I also need to download the PS-AB drawing. And this one I'm going to go ahead and click on to open in AutoCAD. And so I've got my PS-AB. I'm going to close this one. Okay, so this drawing is available. You can see I've got my A size template and my B size. I'll need those later for scaling the drawing. Right now I'm going to work in model space. So the next step is to go back into the website and download the instructions. And open those up. And it talks about what an external reference is, which I talked about in lecture as well. One file can reference many other files and display them as if they were one. You can reference most image files and also DWGs and DWF files. You can update the drawings later. You can add them, so attach them or unattach them at any time. For this project, you'll be using these two files, which we've already downloaded. And we're talking about how when a team is designing a motel, one person can work on it and be doing the room and wall locations. Another person might be doing the furniture plan, for example. And then somebody else might be using the whole update to keep a live view of the whole project. So the first step is going to be to attach the drawing of the entire motel floor plan. So you're going to go into AutoCAD, and I'm going to go ahead and make that bigger, and I'm going to go to the View tab, and then I'm going to go over here to Palettes, and I'm going to go to External References palette. This is going to open the External References palette. Then I'll be able to attach a DWG, and I'm going to click on it. It opens up my sorter for files. I'm going to locate the one I want, which in this case is the motel floor plan, and I'm going to say open. Then it's going to open the palette manager, and it's going to allow me to choose whether it's an attachment or an overlay. We want the attachment because the overlay would not bring any additional nested objects in with it. And we're going to leave the scale at 1:1. We're going to specify where to insert it on screen. And then we're going to leave the path as relative path so that the files just need to be in the same folder as your main drawing when you share it with someone. I'm going to say OK. And now I can click on the screen where I want it to go, or I could specify my insertion point, which I'm going to do as 0 tab 0. But that's not required for the assignment. It just makes it easier for me. So now I have my floor plan in, and you can see it's got the office space, reception, etc., and the numbers for the different rooms that you're going to be creating. Then the next step is to add the reference for the rooms in, so the typical motel room empty. And I'm going to say open. And for this one, I'm going to leave things the same again, and I'm going to say OK. And now when I join it, I want to zoom in to the top row, and I need to pick the center point of the wall here and that's because then the door aligns with the room numbers correctly. I'm going to go ahead and say yes there. Now the next room is a mirrored image, so I can go to Home and use the mirror command in order to just mirror that room over. So I'll go here to Mirror. It says select the object. I'm going to click on the room, and the room is all one piece because it's a block, or an XREF, sorry. So I'm going to then say, okay, that's the only object. And then I'm going to specify the first point of the mirror line, which again is going to be the center of the corner here, where that original line was. So right here. And then I'll just drag it straight up, and you see it snaps. Do I want to erase the source object? I'm going to say no, because I want both copies. And now that I have the two rooms, I can do the same thing again by mirroring and selecting both rooms this time and hitting enter. And then again specify the mirror line here, which is the center of this line, and straight up. No, I don't want to erase the first. And you can see I was actually a little far over with that, and that's why it's cutting off that room number a little bit. So I'm going to go back arrow. Oops, and I had zoomed in and out, so I have to go back arrow a little bit more. And I'm going to try that again. So I'm going to mirror, select both objects, and then I'm going to zoom in closer for the spacing on this. And I want it to be there. There we go. And now I've got those two rooms. I'm going to do this again 2 more times in order to get all the rooms across. And then what I'm going to do is mirror all of those rooms down to the bottom. So I need to make sure that I have the middle of the shared object, which should be this space here. But in this case, actually, it's not. So what I can do is I can draw in a construction line. If I go here, I can go to construction line layer, draw a line, and I want that line to go from the endpoint all the way down to the endpoint on the bottom. And as long as I have the O-snap for midpoint turned on, which I do, then I can go ahead and do the mirror command and select all of the rooms. Obviously you'd have 4 more than I do here. And that's the last of those. And then for the mirror point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over my yellow line and look for the midpoint O-snap, which is right here. And then just straight across. And I do not want to erase my source objects. And now you can see, oops, I accidentally picked the midpoint of the blue object, so I need to go back. And let's try this one more time here. So mirror, select my rooms, select my midpoint. And the midpoint of the yellow line is actually up here. So I'm going to go there and straight across, do not erase, and you can see now they're lining up correctly. So now I have my rooms in, and I'm done with my XREFs currently. So I can go ahead and close the XREF palette. Oops, I clicked on the command line window. I want to click on this one over here. As you can see, I'm a little button happy today. All right, so the next step is going to be to add the blocks to your design. So you want to go back to your object line layer, and you're going to go into View again. This time you're going to go to the Design Center, and mine is already over here on the edge, hidden, so I'm going to click on that to unhide it. And now I can look through the designing space. So I could add a bed, I could add the desk if I want to, a wet bar, any number, or a sofa, anything that you think would fit in a motel room. It is your choice as to what you include. And then remember that you can either double click on it and use the insert command, or simply drag the item into your drawing and then go ahead and move it where you want it to be after hiding this again. So I can choose pieces. You can treat this little area as a bathroom. I know it doesn't have a door on it, but you can go ahead and act like it does. Or you can choose to make that as a closet, but then your hotel would need shared bathroom somewhere, which would be a little odd. You can also choose to put in lobby and office and reception area furniture, but it is not required for the assignment. And in Design Center, you can choose what areas you want to use furniture from. So you can see here the blocks that are available for the home space planning. There's also a set of blocks, for example, for the house kitchen designer. This gives you things like the bathtub and things for a bathroom, windows, a spiral staircase if you had a second floor. You might look at the kitchen if you want to have a kitchenette area. And then you might look at the landscaping if you wanted to add any plants in your room, for example, or a hot tub or anything like that. You can also choose to draw your own block. You just then need to include the block.dwg file when you send me your drawings. All right. Hope this helps you complete the assignment. And then remember that the last step is going to be to go to your B-Space template, double-click into the viewport window, and zoom extents so that you get everything in the middle, and then pick the nearest scale that works correctly with this. So I'm going to try, let's see, 3 inches equals a foot. That's too big. So I'm going to go up a few. I'm going to say a 1/2 inch equals a foot. That's still too big. Let's see, an 1/8 inch equals a foot. That looks to be almost exactly right. The doors on the edge are just a little cut off. So I might go one smaller, 3/32. That looks good. I know that here it looks like you can't read the printing. However, on a printout of this, it would be clearer resolution, so you would be able to see the printing. And then just make sure that you change your scale here to match the one that you selected. So if I click in, I can see, oh, I did 3/32 inch equals a foot. So I would go here, double click on it, and type 3/32 inch equals 1 foot. And then just click outside of it. All right, there you go. Have fun with this assignment.